Merrimack TV content may no longer be available on YouTube. To continue watching our programs, please download the Merrimack TV app from your device's app store. Programs may also be available at merrimacktv.com.
Good evening and welcome to the July 10th meeting of the Town Council. Sorry. If you'd kindly rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. For announcements this evening, I just have upcoming meetings, Thursday, August 21st, and Thursday, September 11th, our next regular council meetings, both at 7 p.m. here in the Matthew Thornton Room. Paul.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Dartmouth Health RNs and APRNs will be at the Merrimack Library tomorrow, July 11th, from 10 to 2 in the clump room on the lower level to provide free health screenings for blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar. No appointments are necessary, just drop in. Screenings will take a minute to complete, and the results and educations will also be provided at that time. Over about a month ago, we got a great honor. The project at the Salhegan River was put in for an award for architects. And Grace, I don't know if you can get close to that, but we received the award, or they received the award for excellence. And it's a 2025 Merit Award for Excellence Planning, Design, and Development presented to the town of Merrimack for the Salhegan River Trail that was completed. And we got a nice little certificate here, and we got this nice glass keepsake. And basically the firm, our engineers and architects, submitted that plan and the project, and it won in the state of New Hampshire. So it's from the American, I can't read it, sorry. Right there.
Jeez.
Yeah, I can't read it either.
American Council of
Architect,
Companies.
engineering companies of New Hampshire.
Yeah, it's really tiny.
It's a team effort.
This big.
Yeah. I should have blown it up a little more. There goes the good eyes. I'm old now.
Yeah, there you go.
But no, it's a great award. Congratulations to Don Talama, our team. Congratulations to Nelson Disco and his team. It was a great team effort, but to get an award for that project, I know it was long in coming, and everybody is happy with the outcome, but it's nice to be recognized and awarded.
Absolutely.
And these will be on display at Town Hall.
Thanks, Paul. Next is comments from the press and public. If you'd like to address the council, you can feel free to step to the mic. And seeing no one. On recognitions, resignations, and retirements tonight, we have two recognitions. The first one is the council's present a plaque to Bob Best for his many years of service, and I'm sad to say that he's decided to move on. He's a busy man, but if you could come up. Yeah, is it up there?
Yeah. He already looks rested.
That's perfect. This is presented to Robert L. Best in recognition of the dedicated service you have given as a member of the planning board for the town of Merrimack. It's a pleasure to present you with this plaque. Your dedication and donation of countless hours has made Merrimack a better place to live and work. We wish to extend to you our sincere appreciation for your outstanding performance, August 2008 to June 2025, presented on behalf of the town of Merrimack. And we absolutely are going to miss you and really appreciate all you've done for the town.
Thank you, sir. I am humbled by the recognition and honored to have had a chance to serve.
Yep.
So.
Thank you.
Don't worry, Paul, I got a couple committees.
You want to hurry up and get out of here before you something else.
No, that was a big lift for a long time, so it's one of our tougher committees,
You didn't
boards.
make Nelson's years, though.
No, but thank you again, Bob. Definitely appreciate it. All right, next on the agenda is council to present a certificate to Christine Lavoie for her volunteer service to the town of Merrimack on the Parks and Rec Committee. And Christine's not here this evening. Let me read the certificate. It's presented to Christine Lavoie in recognition of her service as a member of the Parks and Recreation Committee. In recognition of your dedication and commitment to public service during your appointment as a member of the Parks and Recreation Committee, your service and devotion to the Parks and Rec Committee has had a valuable effect upon this community. We wish to extend to you our sincere appreciation for your outstanding performance of duty, June 2013 to June 2025. So another lengthy time of service, and we absolutely appreciate it. And of course, we're always looking for people to fill these committees. So, and this is a great committee to be on as well. All right, under appointments, the council to discuss the support of the Merrimack Village District's request of a proposed change in winter maintenance that the New Hampshire Department of Transportation issue a low salt or limited salt route within the wellhead protection area in the Industrial Drive Continental Boulevard area that provides drinking water to the businesses and residents of Merrimack.
And we have the two gentlemen from DOT, if they would like to come up and sit at the table. This is part of the agreement that we signed with MVD about limiting the salt on Continental Boulevard. This is part of the discussions where these gentlemen need to come and inform the town of what it's going to look like.
Yep, very good. Good evening. Hey, thank you for being here. So we appreciate you coming and giving us a heads up of what we might expect. I think because we already do it with half of Continental Boulevard, we think we can anticipate what'll be there, but we're looking forward to hearing what you have.
I'm John Corcoran, Bureau of Turnpikes.
I'm Alan Hanscom, the state maintenance engineer, 20-year member of my town's recreation committee.
Wonderful. I hope it's as good a group as ours has been.
Yeah. One thing, talking over with the assistant commissioner, the school board hasn't signed off on this. That is one thing we still need to have this low salt area. Dave Rodriguez, assistant commissioner, said we need that. Usually we do low salt area in less 80T travel. We are waiving that because Continental Boulevard's much higher travel. Usually we only do it with 2,500 vehicles for average daily traffic. And Continental Boulevard, as you guys know, it's got like 12,000 cars a day there. So Dave, we decided that he's going to waive that requirement. Some things we want you guys to make sure that you will expect down there. If we go forward with this low salt area, we'll probably only be salting once at the beginning of storm and after the storm. There will be more likely a lot of say snowpack or hard pack on the roadway, so there could be could get a lot of calls in for that. We're fine with that, and sometimes it'd be very hard to get that hard pack off and maybe there for a few days too, when you got heavy snow and stuff. So those are things we want to make sure the big things we want to make sure you're aware with. We're still going to go with like what we've been working with the town. The water precinct is we're using our ground control speed spreaders. We're not letting any of our rental trucks spread salt. It's just us. We are using a minimum of 250 pounds per lane mile, and that stuff we told them, unless there's some black ice or something, then we're going to have to hit it harder. There will be rental vehicles plowing with us, but they won't spread salt. Okay, and what we also been, the limits that they noted in the letter and what the town gave you was from exit 10 off ramp. We've been mainly working with them from the premium outlet intersection to the industrial drive, Continental Boulevard, and all the way down Continental Boulevard. So the limits were a little different then, and it seemed like they were fine with that one. We've been on several meetings with them since 2023 on their watershed and their wells and stuff. Anything else, Alan, really about the plowing?
One advantage of just having the state equipment do the salt spreading is they have automatic vehicle locator systems on it, so we're able to quantify the amount of salt that's spread on the road, quantity, volume, speed of the vehicle, and those types of things. So with the ground speed controlled, when they're going slower, they're putting out, it dispenses the salt at a slower rate, and if they speed up, so it adjusts for the speed. But with the AVLs, we're able to record and report the amount of salt we're actually putting out.
We're familiar, all our trucks are
Yeah.
equipped with that already, so we're all familiar with the ground control on that.
We've been reporting that to the water precinct too, ever since we started with them. So they're getting the salt use and all that, so they can use in their consultants' calculations. So we've been working with them on that, and also we hired is it Sean O'Keefe?
O'Keefe Landscaping.
He does all our pre-treating down there, and we try to pre-treat before every storm. He does that because we're mainly doing the main line, and a lot of times we don't have time to get down there. But we've hired him the past 2 years, and we plan on still hiring him as long as he still wants to do it for
He's
us.
certified, right?
He brines.
He brines,
He
he does
brines the
the
road.
he brines the road before the storm.
So the whole, basically all Continental is being brined now
Yeah.
from Burger King to Pennachuck, if they're brining as well.
Yeah.
Because we are.
Good. Does anybody have any questions? Oh, Nancy.
Hi, thank you for being here tonight. I'm really happy to hear that they won't have contracted individuals doing that salt. I know that was a huge issue and a concern, I know for me, around the contamination of MBD wells in that area, and it's cost this community a lot of money to have to, replace wells. And I'm just wondering, the things that you were suggesting, are those only going to happen if the school board signs on to this, or will, going forward, only DOT trucks be salting in that area?
We've been
no matter
doing
what?
that ever since. That's going to stay there. The big thing we need with the school board signing on is the low salt, where we will only salt like the beginning of storm and at the end. Where, during it, we wouldn't be salting.
Okay.
It's new to, I'll say, to the turnpike, the interstate, because we're usually
Right.
not
right.
doing that, but,
Usually black pavement.
yeah, black pavement or,
Pretty much
there's-
black pavement.
The difference is, once it starts snowing, if we have a winter with snow, all Turnpike's equipment will be doing is plowing only. Typically, every 3 or 4 passes, every few hours or so, there's a desired expectation, certainly among some travelers, that they apply another treatment of salt. As it might become snow covered or snow packed or a little bit slippery, and those applications every few hours, 3, 4, 5 hours in between won't be happening. It'll just be at the start.
Just think of all the money they're going to save. Maybe they'll take Continental back.
They're going to have to do that eventually. That's another conversation.
The only alternative is for continued plowing and hope for the sun to start shining.
Right.
And that includes the following day and the day after. There would be salt applied either. It would be strictly weather-related and plowing.
I'm just really glad. I know that was an ask we had made, and we had a number of meetings with DOT over a year ago and 2 years ago. And at that time, we were told it wasn't possible to guarantee us that just DOT trucks would be used. So I'm glad that that decision has been made in the interim. I know we're really appreciative because we know the health impacts of salt in our water. I mean, high blood pressure, cardiac stuff. We have enough health impacts from PFAS, and this is, certainly will be helpful. So thank you for that. That's great news.
Yeah, we've been doing that for 2 years now. We've been limiting that.
Good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nancy. Peter?
Actually, this is to Paul. Paul, are you going to just make sure that police and fire are aware of this?
Police and Fire had to sign off on it,
Okay.
so they are aware of it, and they are
So
in
the
agreement.
staff, yes,
They're in agreement.
rank and
with
file,
this.
because they're going to be the ones that get any possible calls, people complaining, stuff.
Right, but Police and Fire are supportive of this as well.
Awesome. Thank you.
I'm imagining the calls that will come in because of this change are coming to the town anyhow. I don't know that everybody realizes that the state does own that segment. I think a lot of people assume that it's the town road anyhow, but we know what it's like because our half of it's been treated that way, and you can see a distinct
That's
difference.
the question. Will it be just like us for the rest of it?
We, in that area, that's a question for them, but there are many feeder roads into Continental that we do plow, and we have our, the routes that our plow truck drivers take, and sometimes they are snow covered, and we don't salt all the way through a storm. We'll salt at the beginning and maybe at the end.
And that's what you're saying, just beginning and end, is that right? But in the meantime, you
If this
plow if
becomes a
needed,
thing, yes.
Yeah.
but no
Yeah,
salt.
unless you're right.
So I would assume, not speaking for DOT, but I would assume that it might look a little bit like our roads.
Yeah.
That section of town where we're talking is not tree covered, so to speak.
Right, there's-
So it might be a little different, but I would still assume that there might be some snow hard pack on it,
Yeah,
things of that sort,
depending upon how much.
depending on
Yeah.
how much and how frequent their trucks are gonna get off and do their loop.
Yeah.
I think that, first of all, I'd like to express my appreciation. I do appreciate the exception that you've been provided, and I think that just reflects an acknowledgement that it is exceptional because it's over our water. So we thank you for that. From our point of view, yes, the roads are not going to be as good. That is the nature of the beast. We have to acknowledge that. But somehow we should be able to communicate that somehow. Not only from something like this, but maybe do something with.
Before
I mean,
education.
we have a while to fix.
Yeah, we have education where we could put out a couple message boards. We'd ask permission from the state because they control some of the intersections. But some of the message boards, basically low salt.
The only
area.
advantage is it might slow down the
The
speed
on that road.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
speed,
That's,
So-
there's probably going to be more accidents too, but I'm sure the speed is going to
It would be a low salt kind of situation. We could put our message boards out there, and we can get the word out there in that area
Yeah.
with it.
I mean, it's
a
going
lot
to be
of-
obvious, but.
A lot of the traffic, as we know, is transient.
Mhm.
So having those message boards out there would help. We can get the word out on our website and things, but we'd have to get the word out because a lot of that traffic on that road is transient traffic.
And we'll get the calls, and at least we'll know the answers.
Yes, yes.
So if I may, so part of this, if this becomes approved, is that the state will install the black on yellow diamond warning signs that says low salt area.
Excellent.
At either end
Perfect.
and by the traffic signal. So that would become a permanent notification to all travelers. You won't have the message board out there forever, but those.
Yeah.
Right.
And just to Councilor Abbott's point about who's calling in, frequently we receive the phone calls from state police and local police about road conditions. So those calls go directly to us at the TMC for our consideration. So you're not going to get all the calls. We're going to get some of
You're gonna
those
get-
calls.
My mistake. Nancy?
Thank you for taking my question. I assume the answer is yes, because they're DOT trucks, but I know this was a challenge, I think, with some of the contracted trucks. At the stoplight, if the truck stopped at a stoplight, it stops dumping salt, right? That's regulated. Okay, great. Thank you.
That's part of the ground speed controller.
Okay.
There's a little time delay and jerk to it, but the difference being if it was an old system, the operator would have to push a button to stop the spreader, and if he didn't, it may continue dispensing in the back, and that's part of what people have seen in the past, where it wasn't automatic ground speed control. So if they speed up, it comes out faster. Slow down, it slows down. If they stop, it stops.
But they have the ability to stop that at the light. I mean, because we used to see some pretty heavy clumps and dumps at
Yeah,
stop.
that would be automated. Yeah.
That's,
Yeah,
okay.
if they just have a plain old spreader from bygone years,
Yeah.
It's all manual.
But the DOT trucks won't have that problem.
No,
Okay.
Same
our
with the town.
rentals have that problem. So
Right,
those
yeah.
are the ones we're not letting spread, so.
Okay, thank you.
in this area, so.
Don Preventure, the MVD board chair, just walked in and just want to reiterate that the school still hasn't signed the letter. So until the school signs the letter, this is not going to take effect. However, DOT has committed to only using their trucks to spread salt.
Okay, thanks. Yes, I'm aware of that. The school did send their own separate letter to the DOT saying that they support whatever the DOT is planning to do out there. So what more than that is really,
It doesn't quite say that.
all right, go ahead and read it.
It says they decline to sign or otherwise support the town official's request, so that's not a support, that's a decline to support.
Yeah, the rest of the
Maybe
letter.
that's not what they meant to write. but-
There's text in that letter that says they support whatever the DOT is intending to do out there, I'm pretty sure.
I believe that the assistant commissioner wants them just to sign this. If you get them to sign off on this,
I've
then-
attempted to
Yeah.
try to get them to sign off on that, and they didn't want to do that.
Because,
Concern for liability, and that's what they've said.
It says we
so they'd like to see
decline
the
to.
liability of not safe water instead.
I get the dilemma.
I've mentioned the fact that there are already numerous salt reduction roads that the buses travel on, so this wouldn't really be any different than that. And I don't think they fully understand that, or they're just a little concerned about liability, but it's already there. They're already living that liability right now.
A lot of Continental Boulevard, there's a section that has no.
Yeah, the part that the town maintains is
Right.
low salt. All of Natticook Road is no salt. Reed's Ferry, that's the only way you can get to Reed's Ferry School.
Right, but not to speak for the school board, because I wouldn't want to do that unless I joined them, but no, not going to do that. But there was no signature for those things, for our section of Continental and for the roads you just mentioned. And so that's the liability, them signing on directly for whatever reason. We've done it here, we've already said, that we're doing it.
So what's the impact if you don't get a signature?
It won't happen.
It won't happen. Nancy?
So was the school board required to sign on when those other areas became no salt?
they're not.
Town
But
just
they're
did
not
that.
state roads.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
why.
The town just
Okay.
did that. We,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah, we did through the town. Thank you.
That's a dilemma.
I think MVD needs to approach the school again, not to speak for MVD, but I think MVD needs to approach the school, and when they approach the school, I think maybe a counselor and town manager would have to be there too to explain why we signed and why we don't feel that, there is liability. There's no doubt about it. There's liability.
What's liability to us, too?
But yes, exactly. They're going to look like the regular roads in town during a storm. So I think that would be something that we'd have to partnership with MVD when they go back in front of the school. Not to put any more work on the town council, but their counselor too should have to go and explain why the position of the town council.
I mean, literally, if they're concerned about liability here with school buses, then they should be just as concerned about all the no-salt roads. And
Again,
they
I
should be
think-
able to make a
Exactly.
point about that.
And if we're talking about liability, I would also wonder, why are we not concerned about liability for contaminating people's drinking water and causing health impacts? So I think maybe might be wise to sit down and hash that out,
Well,
you know, and
And again, see, I don't really care. I think it's a good idea. That's why I approve of doing this. But the town did it because it was the right thing to do. And I think we all recognize where the salt comes from. And so, but this is what their DOT's requiring, just to take it off their plate completely. But it would be the right thing to do, for them to do it automatically. But without the signature, then it doesn't go forward. It would be nice if they would jump on board.
So we're gonna have to get back to you.
Well, we're supportive, yes.
Our job is officially done, but not done. Because but that's not your problem. It's our problem.
Nance?
We're still doing everything else that you said, that we
Yeah.
talked
Yeah.
about, the
Which appreciate-
pre-vet, the ground
Yep.
speed,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
We
That's
appreciate
stuff
that,
we've
yeah.
been doing with them in the past 2 winters. so.
Understood.
I just wonder if I could ask the chair, the MVD Board of Commissioners, I know we went and had some meetings over the summers, a couple of summers ago, around our concern about the road salt use in that area. Have you noticed any difference in the salt concentrations dropped on those roads since the DOT has taken over and is no longer using contracted?
I haven't noticed personally, but Ron Miner, who is at the office most of the day and into the evening sometimes, he has, and I confirmed with him before I told him I would say this, he claims that he sees DOT trucks plowing and salting at the same time, and there's a following DOT truck that's behind the first truck plowing the salt that just put down in the road into the gutter and putting more salt down. So I know the pre-wetting and the brine application before the storm is something that's subcontracted, and I believe that's helped, but I haven't seen the salt application with the plows that I was just mentioning, but if Ron Miner was here, he said that he would say that because he's seen it. So you may not have a good understanding of what your drivers are doing potentially, but that's still happening. And I will say the salt is worse now in our wells than it ever has been before, even as recently as, 3 to 6 months ago. It's at its peak.
So has Mr. Minor called us to tell us that he's seeing it happen?
Not that I'm aware
No.
of.
If we don't know, we can't do anything about it. So if he witnesses it happening, we're open 24/7, so give a call.
Yeah, and the other comment I just wanted to make is I did make it clear to the chair of the school board that if their lack of signing this document was going to present a problem, I would certainly be back in contact with them to let them know that there's an issue with that. First, we put everything together and everybody signed on MVD letterhead, and then the DOT said that that wasn't sufficient. We had to put it on, I think, town letterhead, right? So we had to go around and get, 8 signatures, different departments all over again. So I do believe if you read that letter, though, it does say that the school board supports whatever decision that the DOT is willing to, methods of salt application out there. So I don't know what a signature on that letter is going to be any different from the letter that they sent in. I think it's ultimately means the same thing in the end. But if you're just looking for a signature on, to have everybody's signatures on one page, even though it's the same concepts that are being agreed to, doesn't seem like there's a difference in my mind.
Well, we would have accepted their signature on their letterhead if they had said what you suggested. It says, however, we decline to sign or otherwise support the town official's request that the DOT issue a low salt or limited salt zone for the town. Instead, the board supports. So instead, the board supports says that what I said before they don't agree with. So they did not agree to a low salt. Later on below, it says if the DOT does do it, well, we're not gonna do it unless they sign off on it.
I
So
wish that
it doesn't say what is being suggested.
I wish that it is a town that is it's the village district that has requested it. It is the town that supports it. And in my estimation, that should be adequate because it is the town. School board is its own entity, but they have no say over how we do our roads. And so I would submit that DOT should contemplate just dealing with the town in that regard. You've got the request from village district for the reasons that have become obvious to them and the presentation to us as well. But if you could suggest to them that this is where the rubber hits the road. What we decide to do with our roads, doesn't matter what position they take on it. And so I'm hoping that where we're saying we'd love for you to, do this, what you've presented, we support that. I wish that they would see that the vote of this council, the signature of this council would be adequate.
Is that the policy anytime you have those kind of things?
This is
That
the
you have the
policy.
school?
Yeah, that's why the assistant commissioners.
See, fair enough for the commissioner, but it just, from my standpoint as a town councilor, it doesn't make sense.
Because in most instances, the school is run by an SAU or somebody other than the town.
Which it is.
And, we respect their concerns with running school buses. When I was a boy,
Used to walk.
we drove the school bus in the snow. But that's been part of the policy since 2020, 2000, when it was last revised. Prior to that, I don't believe there was a low salt option on the books. I would only say that we're already cutting corners with it being considered on a 12,000 vehicle a day highway. It's not a local country road, so we're already out on a limb in considering it with a high volume road as such as it is.
Yeah. All right.
So we'll get back to you.
Don, did you have something else?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that if you drive out there now, there are signs on the DOT's portion of Continental Boulevard that say no salt route. And I think I brought this up to you in the past. And I think you claimed that they were not put up by the DOT. Do you know if the town put those up, Paul?
Not off the top of my head, we'll have to
So
look
there's
into
a
that.
kind
We-
of fly-by-night sign posting
The section that
person.
involves our section of Continental Boulevard and that whole Sergeant Acres, we put up the signs.
Yeah, we put up from
put
Industrial
those
Drive
up,
towards
But not
Burger King.
the
It's not what
state
I'm
part.
talking about. I'm talking about
Not the
from
state part.
on Continental going south from Industrial Drive, the DOT portion.
Yeah, no,
There's a no salt sign on there.
I believe you. But what I'm saying is if it was put there, it was put there by accident. Do you know if it has DOT? A lot of times signs will have,
It doesn't say, it's just a yellow sign.
Okay.
I honestly didn't get out of my car and look.
oh,
but
I
it doesn't-
understand.
It doesn't look like there's a little
And the only
emblem
reason
or
I know
anything.
that, we did that this past winter on
Yeah.
the sections that we were
Oh, yeah, I'm aware
involved
of
with.
that, sure.
But
I could double check. It's an
Maybe
easy enough
by
call tomorrow
accident.
morning. It's an easy enough call tomorrow morning to see if our DPW put them out. And if they didn't, then I don't know who did.
Error.
There's a salt reduction zone or something, reduced salt sign on Industrial Drive, and there's a no salt sign on Continental,
Yeah.
on the DOT's portion.
Well, I'll ask my DPW tomorrow about that, and we'll have an answer.
So that's why we were thinking it's already classified as reduced salt or no salt at all.
All right.
But-
It wasn't installed by DOT, and clearly not doing what the sign says, so.
Yeah.
It's not.
Paul will dig into that, but in the meantime, you can reach out, or I don't know how you want to handle that, we can figure that out later with the school district.
I think
They're gonna- Tom will
Ron
take-
and myself, Ron Minor, the superintendent, and myself, will get together, and with
Yeah.
the MVD board, I'm sure they would want approach the school, and once we have that date, I'll let people know.
I know if they realize that, this isn't gonna move forward without their signature, they're aware we were going to
Yeah.
get back to them, because I definitely told them that.
Yeah, but we can get on one of their agendas. I don't know their meeting schedule off the top of my head, so,
Fortunately, we have a little time.
yes.
Yeah.
That's why we brought them in July, and
Yeah, it's hard to talk about.
Time
so-
slips away on these issues, though, real
I know.
fast, I'll tell you
I
that.
know.
Nancy?
Thank you.
I'm sorry to make you look at that letter again, but I wondered if you could just read the part that said when they wrote instead.
Do we have a
What-
copy
what
by
was
any
that?
chance?
I do have a copy of it.
You
I
do?
did not include it because
Oh.
it was not relevant to what the town
Oh, that'd
signed.
be awesome.
What we have to do.
Okay, thank you.
So
That'd be
you do
great.
have a copy?
I do
Paul?
have a
Thank you.
copy of the letter. I'll get it out to the town council
Okay.
tomorrow. Like I said, I didn't,
Perfect.
when we were looking at it, it was not pertinent to the discussion of what the road's gonna look like.
Oh, very good. All right, thank you very much, gentlemen. We truly appreciate you being here.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
I'll be in touch now, if we put those signs out or not.
Take care now.
What the hell?
All right. Next, we have a public hearing to consider recommended changes to Chapter 178, taxation, which is Article 6, optional property tax credit of the Merrimack Town Code pursuant to Charter Article 5. And this has to,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Public hearing, this is technically the second read of this. The state and the governor signed off on increasing the upper limit of totally disabled and permanently disabled from $4,000 to $5,000. Our ordinance 178 taxation ordinance had $4,000 written in it, basically asking the council to increase the limit to $5,000. We had 89 individuals who do get this disabled credit on taxes. So it'd be roughly a 2-cent increase on the tax rate.
Everybody all set? Yep. It's a public hearing, so I will open the public hearing at 7:37. If you would like to address, feel free, if you'd like to address the council, step to the table or the mic. How are you doing?
Hi, Okay. Hi, I'm Mike Druin, 2 Crosswoods Path Boulevard. I'm the VFW commander here in town, and I'm here on behalf of the VFW, our members, and here to advocate for all veterans in town for this credit increase. As a 100% disabled veteran myself, I know it's not easy to get this rating. I'm not sure how I got it, to be honest with you. And I know that the money doesn't last, even though it seems like a lot, it really doesn't. We have our own problems. Most of us have to go to a doctor office several times a month all the way in Boston, and, it's really a drain. Now, a lot of these veterans that do own their homes are needing special equipment, stuff like that, so it's also an increase. The VFW plan is putting together a packet of the benefits that the town in New Hampshire gives to 100% veterans, like the free fishing license for life that they can get, and they can also get their vehicle registration waived, which they don't have to own their property for. So I'm here to advocate for this. It's great. I wish it could be extended to renters too, because, I'd like that. But I hope it's approved.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Mike. See no one further. I'll close the public hearing at 7:39 and seek the pleasure of the council.
At this point,
would move it to a third reading if you,
Third meeting on the
To
consent.
agenda.
And I forgot to say, this will take effect April 1st of '26.
I'd like to make a motion to go for the third
I'll second it.
consent agenda, for the next consent agenda.
motion by Nancy Harrington, seconded by Tom. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstained? It's 700. All right. Next, legislative updates from our legislative delegation. Nancy, you all set? Paul, did you receive anything?
Just know that there's about 25 to 30 bills that the governor is going to be looking at in the next couple of weeks. Basically, the legislation session is over. I don't know when veto day is, but I'm sure there will be a veto day. From what I heard, there's a couple of vetoes that the governor is proposing, so.
All right. Excellent, thanks. Peter?
Just real fast, I have it on my notes, and maybe Nancy, and I don't see a follow-up in anything, but HB 66 under the right to know, did that make it through? Is that still on the table, or, because I know that's a big issue for this town.
Looking at it now.
Do you recall?
Sorry to put you on the
No.
spot.
I think it was tabled.
Yeah, that's what I thought it died.
Okay, May
I think
8th. Inexpedient to legislate, motion adopted, voice vote, bill was killed, May 8th.
Perfect.
Thank you.
That is a door nail.
That was the one that we would have had to pull tons of information out of. Yeah, okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. Thanks for reminding me.
Good question.
All right, next is town manager report.
Thank you. Beals Road Bridge project is slated to began already on July 1st. Beals Road Bridge is split between Bedford and Merrimack and is fallen under the state's red listed bridges and is in need of replacement. The project timeline schedule is proposed for the bridge will be back open around November 1st. I'd like to remind everybody, if you want to kick off your weekend early, Parks and Rec Department, the new night for a free weekly summer concert series is now Thursday nights at Abbey Griffin Park. We are excited to introduce the newly named Thursday Night Live. Please join us each week starting at 6 p.m. for live music featuring a variety of musical styles. It will run from Thursday, June 26th through August 21st. For full concert details, please visit Merrimack Parks with an S, nrec.org. That's merrimackparksandrec.org. Or you can call the Parks and Rec Department at 603-882-1046. Tomorrow, this is great news. This is I'm so excited news.
I can't wait.
On Friday, July 11th at 10 o'clock, the civil engineering team of TEP OPCO Limited will be conducting geotechnical borings at 10 Whitetail Ridge. This work is required in preparation for the new radio tower. The New Hampshire Fish and Game wildlife biologists will be on site as well to monitor the work. Their presence has been mandated to inspect for safeguard endangered turtle species native to the area. The project is expected to last no longer than 8 hours tomorrow, and all the residents in the areas will be notified. But this is one more step closer for the 800 megahertz tower. We can get these borings. They can work on it all summer. When October 15th hits, we can hit the ground running up there and get it in hopefully before snow flies. So that's good news. I think we're near the finish line. I think. And finally, we have a number of vacancies on our Merrimack boards, committees, and commissions. Conservation Commission is looking for one alternate. Heritage Commission is looking for 3 full-time and 1 alternate. National Regional Planning Commission is looking for 1 full-time and 1 alternate. Parks and Recreation Committee is looking for 1 full-time member. Planning Board is looking for 2 full-time members. Town Center Committee is looking for 2 full-time members. And Zoning Board of Adjustment is looking for 1 alternate member. If you would like to serve your community, please reach out to my office at 603-424-2331, or you can go on our website, merrimacknh.gov, to see all committees and board openings. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
Finn?
Peter?
Paul, quick question on the NRPC, since I'm our rep. How many people are needed for that? I know we have Tim Tenhave, and another woman I met at my first meeting from Merrimack, and myself.
We have, this is what we have there, so if we have, it says that we're allowed one more full member and one alternate member.
So we should have, okay, so 5 total people would be involved.
Maybe a couple of those are not appointed from the town of Merrimack. They might just be appointed through NRPC themselves.
Okay.
So would you call it NRPC? What is
Yeah.
that?
National Regional Planning Commission.
All right, just for people at home.
I
It's
know.
the acronyms.
Acronyms.
But it's much easier than saying National Regional Planning Commission.
Yeah, but people at home are going,
No.
what is that?
Good point.
You know, follow it up with something else.
Very good. All right, thanks, Paul. We have nothing on the consent agenda, nothing under old business, under new business. Council's to consider the recommendation of the trustees of the trust fund to reappoint Kathleen Schur for the alternate member position pursuant to RSA 31:22. I mean, we have in our backup, they've had a vote and are desirous of keeping her as their alternate. Is that an annual thing, or is that?
Annual thing
Yeah,
based
so
on the
that-
charter. Every year, the alternate has to be approved by the town council.
Yeah, so if everybody's comfortable with that, Peter?
Should I make a motion?
Please.
Okay. I make a motion that the council appoint Kathy Schur as the alternate trustee to the, trustees of trust fund committee.
Second.
Motion by Peter, seconded by Jennifer.
Should we do the pursuant?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, pursuant to RSA 31:20.
Pursuant to RSA 31:22.
Colon. That's okay.
I gotta work on my motions.
That's right.
Jennifer's good with that. So if there's no further discussion, then I'll call the question. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstained? 7-0-0.
Did we do the public hearing?
Oh, yeah.
178, did we do that one?
Yeah.
Where the hell was that? Where was I?
You seconded the
quick. It was-
motion.
Oh, that's,
That was for the veteran.
oh, gotcha, okay. These packets screw me up sometimes.
You were so concerned about the NRPC.
I was, on the acronyms.
All right. Next, under new business, council would consider the establishment and membership composition of an invasive species committee as requested by the Merrimack Conservation Commission. And Jennifer, did you want to speak to that?
Council Jolin.
Sure. So at our last meeting, it was brought up, we've been talking about invasive species for a while now, and it was brought up that it'd be helpful to have a committee to look at it. There are several smaller plots of land that are either town-owned or Conservation Commission properties that have different species growing on them, as well as the bigger Conservation Commission properties, as well as some of our parks. So that's our request here. We had talked about doing it as a subcommittee. Paul had mentioned that it should be a town committee, so its own standing committee. I did share with you some notes from a couple of our committee members, Gage Perry and Karis Welsh. I'll share with you a couple of the things. I won't read all of it. I did highlight one of the biggest concerns right now is near the compost pile at the transfer station is knotweed has been noticed to be growing. So we want to make sure that that's taken care of fairly swiftly. Karis shared some interesting information on knotweed, for example, at Watson Park. It's along the Souhegan River, and some of the things that I'm still learning about all of these is that the roots are tap roots, so they don't hold the soil, so the bank will erode over time. It grows densely, so it crowds out the natives and destroys the riparian habitat, which is a new word that I learned. As species, pieces of the stems break off, they actually travel along in the water and will route along the river and then eventually get out into the Merrimack and route along there. So that's the problem with all of these invasives such as knotweed and oriental bittersweet. They spread like crazy. So to have a group together to start talking about it and figuring out how to tackle some of these areas would be helpful.
And what I was recommending for the group is a couple of Merrimack Conservation Commission members, a town councilor, the DPW director, and a couple of members from the public. Basically, education. We could talk about knotweed, we could talk about bittersweet. We could have it on that table in front of us. 95 out of 100 people are not going to know what it looks like. And we do know, we talked about this today or yesterday in the managers meeting about we have to get the word out there because technically knotweed, all the invasives do not go in the compost piles. They should be put in with your regular trash because we incinerate our trash. And the only way to get rid of this is to incinerate it. So we're talking, this group would have to come up with some kind of handout or flyers, things of that sort, to really educate the public of what this is and what to do, because one of them is so aggressive that even if you dig it out with your shovel and you get the roots out, it sits on your shovel. And if you use your shovel in another part of your lawn or yard, it could, if there's implant it there and start it going again. So it's really education, as well as treatment and how we're going to attack it from a town's perspective on treatment. So that's why we're thinking a counselor, the DPW director, or who she sees fit, and 2 members of the public, as well as a member from, or 2 from Merrimack Conservation Commission.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea, but 3, 4, 5. You want 2 members of the conservation, is that?
You 2, I think 2. You could do 2 members of conservation, 2, 4, that would be 5, 2, 4, 6. 6 members.
You need 1 more, maybe 3 members of the public?
You could do 3 members
I
or
don't know if
6,
it's
because
important,
I don't think it's really gonna be, the votes aren't
It's not gonna be
spending
tiebreaker
money,
votes,
it's gonna be, how do we educate, how do we, you know, I don't really see a 3-3 vote.
I agree. After I said it out loud, I definitely agree.
I will say, Karis did put out a call, like on social media, and she actually got a good response from the public of several people who were interested. She's done great outreach for the Conservation Commission on this. She set up a talk at the library from the New Hampshire UNH Cooperative, whatever it's called, and they came and gave a speech on it. It was really well attended, and some of those people are, concerned about things on their own property as well. So, so if we could do up to 3, I think she has at least 3 people who are
conservation
interested.
members? Members
Of the public,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. Like I said, 7, you don't want it much bigger than 7.
Right. Right out of the gate, I think, I have a little area of bittersweet on my property that I've been ripping down, and I would naturally have gone to the compost area instead, which is a big mistake, as I recognized tonight. We should probably sign that and bring it up to.
That's what we're gonna start trying to do.
I mean, that's the one right out of
do
the
it.
gate, I'm thinking, just to start it off, but
Right.
anyhow, no.
Yeah, but we have to show it what it looks like,
Exactly. I wouldn't
because,
know what it looks like.
When it's wrapped around your tree, it becomes very
Yeah,
heavy.
it's
I
all-
have
I
the
have it all.
wrapping, so they
That's
probably
what it
are.
is.
yeah,
But I've cut down holes, but not, it's, 1 is identification,
Yeah.
and 2 is how do you.
how to
do
eradicate
it
it.
correctly. Because
Yeah.
you said digging it out. I just cut them.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything, it probably proliferates it. I probably made it thicker.
Yeah, even with the bittersweet, if you cut it and you leave it laying, it will reroot even like
Right
that
there.
cut off piece. So they say like put it on your blacktop and like cover it or put it in the black plastic bags and seal it up tight. So there's a lot of education to be had, I
Yep.
think.
Oh, good. All right. Peter?
And familiar with knotweed, and all its problems and everything and what you have to do. But I'm curious, Jen, and Gage Perry is a good one, and yourself. But I'm like Paul just went through an announcement of having a hard time filling people in committees. Is there a reason this couldn't just fall under the Conservation Commission itself? And, or is it just too big an issue?
The reason why I wanted it pulled out is because it is a big issue. And it needs the council and the town departments, because there are properties that we need to work with them on to do this. So that's why I pulled it out and took it away from, not took it away, but wanted it to give its recognition, because this isn't just an Merrimack Conservation Commission issue. This is a town issue.
Because Parks and Rec, I'm sure.
Because Parks and Rec, at Wasserman Park, we have a lot of burning bushes in the woods. That's another invasive species. So it's not just a conservation on Horse Hill Nature Preserve or Scholar
Parks
Park.
and Rec on the committee?
Dawn handles all the maintenance
Take care
over
of it.
there.
Okay.
Her division, Highway Division, will handle maintenance, and that's why I'm saying, if we have her, and then she could bring in Pat Davis to a meeting to listen, and things of that sort, where he's not a member, but, for education purposes.
All right.
And I don't foresee this being a problem, Councilor Albert, of being filled, because the email that I had, there was 5 members right away wanting to join.
Yeah,
And I just was curious. I certainly respect the opinion of my fellow counselor, and I've known Gage for years and his commitment to the commission, so. And yours, of course, Paul.
Gage would be a good member.
All right, so we're talking about 2 Conservation Commission members, a town councilor.
Yep.
Public Works Director and her.
Or designee.
Designee, and 2 members of the.
3
pub-
members
Three
of
members of
the-
the public.
Yep.
Will this be committed a subcommittee? No.
No, it's going to be a
Separate.
committee from, a committee,
Just a separate, okay.
separate committee from for the town council.
So if somebody would like to.
Me to make a motion?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion to establish a invasive species committee with the members of the committee being 2 Conservation Commission members, 1 town councilor, 1 DPW director or her designee, and 3 members of the public.
Second.
Motion by Jennifer, second by Nancy Murphy. Any further discussion? Call the question. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Oppose or abstain? 700.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's good to get that done. Next, under new business, the council will consider the establishment and membership composition of the 250th anniversary. Let me go again. Establish membership and establishment of a 250th anniversary committee and membership composition thereof, based on the discussions held at our retreat and goal session. So, now that I finally got that out,
Well, at the goal session, next year's a big year.
it is a bit.
We have the 250th anniversary of the United States, and it's Independence Day. It's a little bit more than just a regular 4th of July. What we discussed at the retreat for the people at home was that to establish a committee, basically to see what the town would like to do for the 250th. We know fireworks, we know the parade, but is there anything else that they might want to do? One of the other things that was not mentioned in this, that I could see this committee also working on, is on September 11th, 2026, it's the 25th year. I had a little conversation with the American Legion, and not to step on their toes because they do a very nice ceremony every year, but I asked if we maybe partner with them. But I could see this group transitioning from the 4th of July or the Independence Day celebration to that 25th anniversary of
I'm really
9/11 as
glad you
well.
thought of that.
As well. So, but it's a little bit bigger than just one person. Matt Kasparius has done an excellent job, and I will not take anything away from him for the 4th of July celebration. He's been with the town over 10, 15 years now, and he's taken it over and ran with it and made the parade what the parade is and made the fireworks, and we've tried the midway and things of that sort. This one is a big one for the country. It's falling on a Saturday, which means that there's potential of more people coming to this as well. So it's something that the council talked about at their retreat, something that they thought was important to do. Similar to what we did with the 275th celebration of the town, just having a small subcommittee to get together and put something together. They would bring it back to the town council, start in September. We'll get a rough budget when the budget season starts, so we'd actually know what the budget would look like going through the budget season as well.
One thing I heard, I don't know details about, but they're having events up till July 4th. There's going to be some national events going on.
Yes.
And I don't know what they're going to be, but and it doesn't mean we have to do something as well. But some of them, depending upon what it is, we might jump on and say, this is a national thing.
Right.
But and I don't know what they would be, though.
I don't know, but,
Just being aware of it.
being aware of it, with this committee, they could approach a brewery in town to see if we can get a retired one, Clydesdale, up on July 3rd maybe, things of that sort.
Yeah.
We're not going to get the hitch. The hitch is in Washington, D.C. or St. Louis for the 4th of July.
for the big one.
We're not going to get the hitch. I can tell people right now, there's no way that thing was signed up 5 years ago to where it's going for the 250th parade. But maybe we can get a retired horse up here with Anheuser-Busch and things of that sort. And maybe we can coordinate some efforts with some of the local businesses, such as, Anheuser-Busch had the biggest bounce house.
Yeah, how did that go?
It went over great. They sold tickets. It was great. It was massive. Individuals that from the fire department, the fire inspector, fire marshal who had to go down there and look at it, he said it was awesome. And they did it nice. They had the little kids' times, they had the bigger kids' times, and then they had the adult time at night. So it was run very well.
Nothing around.
Yeah, but it was run very well. But there, who knows what other organizations such as Anheuser-Busch might be putting on, and that's why with this committee they can approach some of these organizations in town as well, and maybe get some sponsorships too.
Or coordinate activities.
Correct.
Of the different, yeah.
Did you happen to chat with Matt about this in any fashion?
Yes, I did.
Did he have suggestions to membership makeup or?
Basically, he was okay with being on it. Parks and Rec director, a counselor. We had 3 members of the public, and public safety, probably police and fire, one of each, to get a total of 7 member. If you wanted to, you could take and put a couple of his members on his Parks and Rec committee. I'm sure I wouldn't mind doing double duty as members of the public. So that's why we were looking at 3 members of the public on that. But Matt was okay with it. He kind of had a sigh of relief because it's a big undertaking.
He thought it was going to be all
It's going to
him.
be massive.
Yeah. It's a big undertaking. How do you? Our goal, or his goal, is to make our 4th of July parade one of the, if not the biggest, one of the biggest. And right now, I think we're within the top 4 of the biggest parades in the state. So he was telling me today, I had a meeting with him, and he was telling me today he was going on all these other websites to see if how many vendors they had, how many bands they had, things of that sort. So he's really, but it was a sigh of relief when I talked to him about it,
Good.
that he'll have help.
Yeah.
He might chair the committee, but at least he'll have some help.
I think that would be good, actually. So,
Yeah.
all right. So what's the pleasure of the council?
A motion. I'll throw this one out here. I'd like to motion for the town council to establish a 255th anniversary committee to be made up of 1 Parks and Rec director, 1 Parks and Rec committee member, 3 members of the public, 1 member, 1 police representative, and 1 fire representative.
Second.
And you probably said it, but you said 3 members of the public?
Yes.
Yep, okay.
Did you
You
say
didn't
town
say
council? I
town
didn't hear you.
councilor, though.
No, I didn't say we do 1. And 1 town council.
Second.
Does that mean you volunteer for that? No.
Sure.
I just think for ease and be able to come back during council,
Absolutely.
to be able to talk about what's going on.
I'll be more than happy to. Don't put
So that was a motion by Tommy.
And seconded by Peter.
You second, okay, I didn't catch that. Thanks, Peter. Mackenzie stepped out just for a moment. So if there's no further discussion. Call the question. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstained? 600. All righty. Next, the fourth item under new business, the council to consider the establishment and membership composition of a town buildings subcommittee to look into the town buildings and present the council with a plan on moving forward based on the discussions held during the retreat and goal session.
Once again, during the goal session, we had a long talk about town buildings, fire, police, town hall, other buildings that need to be done. What we came up with at the retreat was that consists of 3 town councilors, the town manager, and then the town manager could pull in members such as the police chief, fire chief, anybody he sees fit, DPW director, anybody he sees fit to help with the discussion of moving forward with a plan on either renovating or building buildings throughout, whether for police, fire, or town hall, and just get the committee together and continue the progress that was made prior, to keep it going.
Do you think this should include some members of the public? Because if we're going to talk about things like the police and fire departments, it would be good to have, I think, public members to participate in that conversation to get things moving around town, pushing the ideas
Get
forward.
their perspective, you're right.
I am supportive of that. Just what I put out here was what we talked about at
Yeah,
the
no,
retreat.
I just was.
So, yeah, we could put 2
I think
members
your
of
point's
the
well taken.
3, 4, we could put
Keep it 3.
3 members of the public, if we can get 3 members of the public.
I get what you're saying. All right. I think it's a good idea for all those reasons that we discussed at the retreat. And so unless somebody has further input?
A motion? Did you want to do it?
No, you can do it. I was ready to, but you can.
I'd like to establish a subcommittee to look into the town buildings and present the town council with a plan on moving forward. The subcommittee shall consist of 3 town councilors, town manager, and any designates that the town manager may determine, and 3 public members.
That's second. Nancy will.
Does that cover what you
Nancy will
need?
second.
Yes, that covered it. And the voting members would be the councilors, the manager, and the 3 public.
Yeah.
The other ones would just be brought in for
As necessary.
information.
You're right. All right. Motion by Nancy Harrington, second by Nancy Murphy. There's no further discussion. Call the question. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstained? 600. Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
For those committees, should people reach out to your office?
Yeah, we'll be putting out a press release tomorrow, requesting members of the public for the new invasive species committee, the 250th anniversary committee, and the building subcommittee for buildings. What we'll also do is we'll reach out to the chairs of the Merrimack Conservation Commission and Parks and Rec Department and inform them so that they can put that on a meeting to actually support somebody. What I would say is that town council will have, keep this open for 30 days, request, and then, like you normally do with any committee appointment, you'll have your interviews of interested people, and then we'd appoint at the August,
Probably the second one. Oh, no.
no, we only do
We
one,
only have one. That's right.
Is it the 14th?
21st, I thought.
It might
August
be.
21st. August 21st meeting, so we can hit the ground running beginning first week of September.
Peter.
Just for the record, I'd be happy to volunteer as one of the counselors for the town building subcommittee.
Perfect. Didn't have
You
to
guys already
twist
know
arms
my
there.
record on the 250th, so.
Yeah, but, we'll, at that time too, on the August, we'll have the town
Finalize.
council, you'll finalize, who wants. I know Tom and Pete just volunteered, but if Jen
We'll need
might
more.
want to be on the invasive species, but she might not want to be on the invasive species, so things of that sort. So the counselors have a month to think about which committee they might want to be on.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll be sending out a press release.
Yep, very good. All right, next item under new business, a discussion on the Senate Bill 213 and the potential municipal impacts. It's the electioneering legislation, and Paul, did you want to speak to?
Yeah, I could speak to it a little bit. This came across my desk from another community. They really put this letter together for us. Basically, what it is, it's that SB 213, Senate Bill 213, talks about electioneering and what electioneering is, and it cites that members of the town at town meeting or town officials can be accused of electioneering by talking about subjects, whether it's about funding or about trying to persuade somebody to vote one way or the other. That could all be considered electioneering now. Potentially, the voter's guide that we put out can be considered electioneering. So there's a lot of things in this bill that, reading this bill that I included is very concerning. Along with this bill is the portion about absentee ballots. We're not concerned with the absentee ballot portion of the bill. What I'm concerned at and what I brought forward to the town council was the concern about this electioneering. And how do you become transparent and educate individuals? For instance, if I go to Concord to testify on a bill, and I say I'm the town manager of Merrimack, and this Continental Boulevard is going to cost Merrimack $250,000 to take over, somebody can say that's electioneering, and then it's a misdemeanor on me. So I could be brought up on misdemeanor charges for electioneering. Whereas the way it runs now is that if somebody's talking about something and saying, for instance, I want you to vote for X, Y, Z, they would have to go to the AG's office. The AG would investigate and say, ruling, yes, he did electioneer, or no, he did not electioneer. So there's definitions and other things. Landscape under which municipal employees participate are town meetings, budget hearings, and town warrant creations. Under SB 213, the following would occur: exposure of public employees to legally for sharing public information intended to educate voters and foster transparency, or even having everyday conversations about municipal operations. If a complainant believes that those discussions had an effect of influence of a voter or repercussions for the employee of the town could be significant.
That's a lose-lose situation.
Correct.
Even just providing information
You could
for
get,
clarification
Mhm.
could be interpreted as
right.
electioneering.
We started a new project here with all the town departments, and it's getting to know your town departments. And the first one is, a real get to know them. But for instance, during budget season, if we brought the police or fire chief in, and he says, I need 27 new people, and he wants to talk about why he needs those 27 new people, that can be considered electioneering, because you're using public
Rather than
facilities.
providing.
You're not allowed to use public facilities, you're not allowed to talk, if you're a public employee,
It fights against transparency.
transparency, right?
And you can't educate anymore.
It
Right.
creates a
So you base- you
misdemeanor
vote
level
based upon
offense
what?
for
Hearsay?
public employees
Exactly.
in the performance of their official duties, any way designed to influence a vote or a voter of any question or office.
It's an absurd piece of legislation, because if I'm sitting here as a council and we voted on an issue, a highway garage, we have to advocate for that. And so to not be able to do that is silliness. So I don't know. I mean, this went to the governor's desk already, you said?
I was told that it's on her desk today. Doesn't mean she signed it today, but it went today. I got educated. I'll have to admit, I learned something. 20 years in the making, I learned something. I was talking to an individual and I said, all these things were passed at the end of June. It's well past the 5 days that the governor has to sign it. What the individual told me was that the clock really doesn't start ticking once the vote is taken. The clock starts ticking because the Senate President and the Speaker of the House have to sign on every bill to go forward. Then it goes to the legal for their review, one more time, final review. Then it goes to the Secretary of State's office, and then it goes to the governor. So you could have a bill that was approved mid-June, not get signed off on through legal, through Secretary of State, and she might just get it today, and the clock starts ticking today for her to sign or not to sign. And then, of course, there's exceptions to that rule if there's a public signing. So for instance, like if somebody wants to do a public signing for social districting bill, that might take longer than the number of days that she has to sign off on the bill. And there's an exception for that. So right now, the bill's on her desk. She has, I believe, 5 days either to sign it, veto it, or it gets approved without signature, meaning without governor consent. So this letter is very timely to go up there.
Perfect. Jennifer?
Yeah, I'm, oh, sorry.
Would it be appropriate for us as individuals to email her about this?
Yeah, you can email her about this as well. What I did do is there's a signature
Right.
that all the town councils will sign with the town manager. Excuse me, I will upload that after the meeting tonight if the vote is that way with the town council. I will upload that tonight to a link that it will go in as the town of Merrimack is requesting. But any individual that wants to vote or there is a link that they can actually express opinions on every bill that the governor will be signing off on.
Nancy, do you know, was that roll call votes? Do we know how our reps voted on that?
No, I'm actually looking at the
I hope the 213 was rolled.
the history of the bill, and from what I can see, it was division votes, but it was not sufficiently, well, it was split votes in many ways, and it went to a committee of conference, and the Democratic Senator Perkins Quokka was removed from the committee. Usually that happens when they refuse to concur, and was replaced with Senator Rochefort, so that that passed. Otherwise, it would not have even got to the governor's desk. So at this point,
Perhaps
yeah,
there's hope.
yes, there's the final vote on the division vote was 197 to 170. That was on June 26th. So it's not unanimous, and a senator had to be replaced because there was not agreement in that committee of conference. So we'll see.
What kind of motion do you need, Paul?
To approve the letter that I basically read.
So moved.
Second.
Just, look, I agree with you, Finley, and this astounds me that up in the state legislature,
Can you move the letter down?
um,
Tom has this.
it's like they're just coming after our ability to do our jobs on the municipal level. And I'm starting to wonder, when I'm listening to this, is, as a town councilor, I'm at a cookout with friends, 20 or 30 people, and they start asking me about certain things, and I start to say, well, this is what I like, this is the reasons why. Am I now in violation of this law, and doesn't that infringe upon my First Amendment rights? So this is just kind of, this is garbage, more garbage coming from up north. So, yeah, certainly, we need to send this letter, and I'd be curious how our senator and our state reps voted on this. I'd like to know individually how they voted, and did they support this?
I know that, I don't know how our representatives voted, but I know that our senator was in support.
And I opposed wholeheartedly. It's a horrible bill.
I don't know how the rest of our representatives, I will find out for the town council, but I do know that our senator was in support.
Yeah, I think they and our senator need to know that whoever supported this need to know that, and I haven't heard any dissension here, that we don't support this, and this does infringe upon our rights, so.
Thanks, Peter.
passage of this bill really deprives the citizens of the information that they need to make a decision on a vote. And it deprives us of being able to provide them the information that we had that led to the vote that we made. So, as I said, it's a terrible vote. I can't imagine anybody supporting it. 190 people did. But I think this is indicative of what is happening in Concord. That, and then the voting piece got tacked on. I don't know if this is the bill, I have to read it. But if this is the one that also would require people that requesting an
Yeah,
absentee ballot.
Yes, that's
but,
part of it.
For, like, they need to request it, I can't remember, it's like 6 months in advance or 60 days. People, you think of people in nursing homes, and they have to get all these documents. Well, elderly people in nursing homes that may have moved out of their town because they've been placed in a nursing home, but want to vote, they don't necessarily have everything. They're re-registering in a new area. They have to come up with all the documentation 2 months before they can, when they can vote. And I'm not sure if that's this bill, but that's the kind of things that are happening. And so it's just,
Yeah,
it's very frustrating.
It's included, that's the back end of this bill.
I think I get confused because I'd like to know what made them think it was okay. What was their motivation? What was their intent? You know, and sometimes you just can't, sometimes if you know that, it's like, oh, I understand why you did it, but it could have been done a better way. It really helps me understand the rationale. But right now, I can't see rationale. It doesn't make,
The way the language is written, if you read it, the way it's written, it really handcuffs everybody. We've been told, oh,
Free
no, that's not, no, this is how it's written, and as we know, when you go to the Supreme Court over something, they're looking at the intent and how it's written in there.
right.
It's not, no, it doesn't apply to you as a town manager.
It has
No,
to be
it says
specific.
X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
So that's why there's a lot of fear. I know the police association's against this. I believe the fire association is against this. I know some of the unions are against this. So, there's a lot of people that are against this as
Hopefully.
well.
I could see this going to the Supreme Court and getting squashed.
Challenge.
But why waste their time?
This is
Shouldn't have
one
to
of,
go to Supreme Court.
one of many bills this session that are, I believe, attacking voting rights. And when people don't have the information they need, people that care don't know what to do. And they could vote wrong, maybe it's the way that they don't agree, or they don't vote at all. And sometimes that's the intent. We're not supposed to ever question the motives of somebody, of a fellow legislator, but this does nothing good. It doesn't do anything good for town governments. It doesn't do anything good for state government. People, if we truly are about transparency, why are we afraid to provide people information? They can disagree with us, that's fine, but to deprive people or threaten legal action if you answer a question, it's a slippery slope. So, again, I wholeheartedly support sending this letter, and I just hope it gets there in time before.
Did we vote?
No, but you have a
We have a
motion from
That's right.
I moved it.
Nancy Murphy moved it, Tom Thornton seconded it.
Right, so we
It
have,
must have been a while ago, because.
it was. We were all in the same boat as you.
Yeah, we are into further discussion. All right, since there's no more, because we've exhausted discussion, I'd like to call the question. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstained, 7-0-0. Thanks,
What-
Paul. Get
That
it
is
out
what,
tonight.
thank you. This is what Councilor Yakubov once said, is make the motion, then discuss.
I had told him.
He
I
said
said,
it discuss, then make the
I
motion.
know, it's done both
I
ways.
had told him, I said, if you follow Robert's rules, you're supposed to have a motion before you have any discussion.
Right.
And so that became his mission. He would do that. But not that we
And it
follow
does make
Robert's-
sense,
It does.
because
if-
you should discuss the motion.
Well, we did get in a bad habit of
We
seconding
did.
for discussion, which is a big mistake. We should never do that, but anyhow, Paul is here for
There was an
our
individual
last
who
item
used to
under
do
new
it.
business. Yes, there was. We're going to be reviewing and consider the approval of the town's investment policy, which is an annual endeavor.
Bookkeeping.
For the investment of public funds held by the town treasurer in accordance with RSA 35:9 and RSA 41:29 for fiscal year 2025-26.
Good evening, everybody.
Quick to the seat. Thank you.
So as the chair pointed out, this is an annual, and vice chair pointed out, this is an annual. Thank you. Is it on? Doesn't sound like it's on.
Doesn't sound like it.
Is it bright?
It is on, Grace?
It's on now.
Check, check.
There you go.
So this is an annual requirement by the state, by state statute. And the second paragraph pretty much sums up what's going on here. Please be advised that all monies are presently held by the town treasurer are invested in strict compliance with this investment policy and are earning interest at the most attractive rates available. Furthermore, the investments are fully collateralized or insured for added safety. Investments of the town treasurer are diversified and extremely liquid, i.e. they consist of deposits in New Hampshire Public Deposit Investment Pool and in several New Hampshire banks that may be withdrawn at any time without penalty.
So basically, this is just reiterating where our money is held, how it's safe, and that there's a policy of how it's handled.
Right?
That is correct.
And if we need to unsecure, if a bank comes to us, we can use it as unsecured. I can tell you right now, in my 17 years as finance director, we never had any money that was not secured by either the federal government or some other security behind it. And prior to that, I would have to say that my predecessor, finance director, Bob Levan, is the one who wrote this policy. And it's been in the works for the town for at least 15 years before I got here, so about 35 years, and the town has never lost a dollar. Everything has always been secured.
And then our auditing has always been.
Our audit, and this is another thing, it's really for the auditors, they love seeing this little policy, that how we're gonna invest stuff. You'll get another one later on for the trustee of trust funds, they have a little different rules to how they can invest their money, but basically, I know for an investment policy, it comes up every now and then, is that why aren't we in credit unions? State law doesn't allow us to be in credit unions. Why aren't we using DIFs? And of course, you're going to ask me what that means, Councilor Thornton. It's deposits, instruments. It's not recognized by the FDIC as security. It's basically an insurance policy on your money with an insurance company. It's not with another bank. Most of our money is insured through Bank of New York as their collateralization. Collateralization is with Bank of New York, so things of that sort. So we're very secure, we're very collateralized. We work on getting the best rate possible. Now that interest rates actually have started creeping up or stabilized in the 4%, it's nice when you have, you can get some interest on your money.
So nothing's changed. There's no recommended amendments to the policy.
That is correct.
Nancy?
I'd like to make a motion for the approval of the town's investment policy for the investment of public funds held by the town treasurer in accordance with RSA 35:9 and RSA 41:29 for fiscal year 2025-26.
Second.
Motion by Nancy Harrington, seconded by Jennifer. No further discussion, I'll call the question.
So did you motion to approve or approval?
The investment, yes, to approve it,
Right, but you said to approval of.
for the approval of.
You motion to approve the, right,
The policy.
the policy, right? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, just wording.
All right.
Whatever's grammatically correct.
Whichever one.
Did you have some? No. You're good, okay. So if there's no further discussion, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstained, 7-0-0. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you very much.
Trying to move my mic away because I'm done talking.
Oh, perfect. Next is approval of June 26, 2025 minutes. Jennifer.
I didn't find anything, but I think Nancy did.
I do. Yes, I do. On page 3, line 21. First word is caucus. If we could just change that to vote, that would be correct. Thank you.
Wow.
I didn't see it, my paperclip was in the
All
way.
right. Tom, did you find anything? No.
After intensive review,
All right. So what's the pleasure?
Sure, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the June 26, 2025 Town Council meeting as amended.
Motion by Jennifer, second by Nancy Murphy. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstained? 700. Comments?
Sorry. I do, when we're talking about minutes, I do have one thing. I know I said I was done talking. I lied. If you're on a committee, please remind the minute taker of the committee, there's a new RSA, a new law that just got passed. You need to have your start time, your end time, and then respectfully submitted by whoever's submitting the minutes. That is a new law. So basically, you need the start time in your meeting, the end time in your meeting, and respectfully submitted by whoever's doing the minutes. I am sending this out as well,
I was going to say.
but just know that when you're looking at some of your committee minutes, make sure that's on there, and that takes effect in August.
Okay.
So it should be the minute taker, not the chair.
It's the minute taker.
Okay.
Nancy?
I was just going to say, on that June 26th approval of the minutes, Counselors Albert and Mackenzie Murphy were missing, so we can only do 5.
No, you can do 7.
Can you do 7?
They can still vote, yes.
Oh, even,
They
okay.
can't move it. They cannot, technically, Robert's Rules says they cannot move it, the motion,
But they can
but they
vote
can second it and vote on it.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for that. All right, comments from the press and public? Seeing no one here. Comments from the council?
I had a chance to work with Matt on the parade for the 4th of July, and he did an excellent job. He and his staff, and they had a great group of volunteers, and, it went off without a hitch. There was a lot of people involved, including the governor, and just impressed, and I wanted to just say, job well done.
Kudos. Absolutely, Peter, it was. And Jennifer has taken the lead on our communication component, and I want to let you know we appreciate that for sure. And it drug me out to the pancake breakfast. I told my kids this year that bring your babies so I can help with that, because I had Nelson and the town center committee there, and so we kind of ponied up and it worked. But so, anything further, Nancy?
I just wanted to say we had in addition to spending some time at the town council table, the pancake breakfast for the Rotary Club was awesome, very well attended. Maureen Tracy is the new president, I guess, of the Rotary Club, and she did a great job, along with all the people in the kitchen. Unsung heroes are always behind the counter. And also kudos to to those who ran the Sparkler 5K in the morning. I had the opportunity to help register people and hand out T-shirts, and there were, I believe, 500 people running in that. So again, really well attended, and was fun to watch. It was the first time I'd actually done it myself. So kudos to everybody. And then the other last thing is, I'm not sure if we had a meeting after, but the New Hampshire Hot Dogs for Alzheimer's event was the 26th, I believe. And is this the first meeting after that?
Yes.
Okay. So again, kudos to Bob Bergen, who I believe is his last year doing this. This is the total amount that he's raised since I think it was 2018 is $100,000. This was a lot of hot dogs sold. A lot of people came out. The donations are huge. People come and spend $5 for a hot dog in a bag, but put $20 in a canister for donations. And we hear a lot of stories about people whose own families are impacted by Alzheimer's. So kudos to Bob, all the Knights of Columbus at Our Lady of Mercy Church who help out, and all the volunteers. Ladies cutting onions down in the basement and wrapping hot dogs, and kids running up to carry things. And it's a big event. It's a lot of work, and it's it really makes a difference for Alzheimer's research and funding that association, so happy to see everybody there.
Great. Anything further?
Motion to adjourn?
Motion by Tom, seconded by
Second.
Jennifer. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 700. Thank you, everybody.